Chosen One, your very presence is unraveling their false power. These trembling magicians, cloaked in delusion and ego, never expected the storm you carry in your soul. They thought they could play with shadows, but you are the eclipse. Their hexes, their curses, their stitched-together chaos spells, weak echoes of power, have turned on them like wild beasts, no longer tamed by illusion. The universe heard your name and adjusted its balance. Now, their own darkness is devouring them in the same ritual circles they once danced in, while you stand untouched, cloaked in cosmic authority. They're in panic mode now, whispering your name like it's a curse they fear will summon their own undoing. These counterfeit mystics, shaking hands, hollow hearts, are conjuring every desperate charm they can think of, throwing bones, lighting candles, bleeding out offerings, all to decode the unstoppable force that is you. But what they don't understand is that your power doesn't come from ritual. It comes from divine alignment. You are the storm sent by sacred decree, and their cheap enchantments are disintegrating under the weight of your truth. Their illusions can't survive the raw voltage of your presence, because you are the prophecy incarnate. The moment your soul lit up the ether like a celestial flare, they knew their time was up. Your essence, a pure, radiant force untouched by corruption, disrupted the carefully constructed illusion they clung to. You didn't have to lift a finger. Your light alone made their shadows scatter in panic. That's why they moved against you like a hive of frightened parasites, desperate to extinguish what they couldn't replicate. They plotted in secrecy, weaving rituals with trembling hands, trying to dismantle a force that was never theirs to comprehend. But you weren't just a threat, you were the revelation, and your presence exposed every crack in their crumbling empire of lies. Under blood-drenched moons and trembling stars, they gathered like desperate scavengers, performing chaotic rites with stolen knowledge and trembling hearts. They thought timing would give them leverage, that the cycles of the moon would amplify their venom. But their rituals, soaked in fear and confusion, were no match for the sovereign protection enveloping your soul. They burned herbs without reverence, spoke incantations without comprehension, and summoned energies they couldn't control. Every chant, every drop of blood, every sinister gaze hurled toward you ricocheted back like thunder from a sacred mountain. They underestimated one truth: no darkness can consume a being lit from within by divine fire. They channeled their venom into the unseen, convinced their malice would dissolve into nothingness. But the universe was watching, documenting every wicked intention like a cosmic ledger. And you, Chosen One, bore the invisible warfare with silent strength. You walked through days that felt like molasses, dreams that turned to dust just before they bloomed, and connections that froze mid-sentence, sabotaged by invisible hands. Lights flickered, screens glitched, and sleep became a battlefield where shadows clawed at your peace. But what they didn't realize is that every disruption, every assault, was being transmuted into fuel for your awakening. The more they tried to unravel you, the more the divine wove you tighter into your unstoppable purpose. This was not random misfortune. It was a calculated siege launched by astral saboteurs too afraid to face you in the light. From the shadows they struck, weaving curses like cobwebs, hoping you'd crumble beneath the pressure. But every act of spiritual treachery became evidence, every whisper of harm etched into the eternal records kept by forces that see beyond illusion. While the world rolled its eyes, brushing off your suffering as paranoia, we saw the pattern, clear as blood on sacred cloth. From the higher realms where deception dissolves and energy speaks plainly, we witnessed every strike, every ripple of their coordinated malice. Justice is not blind here, it is patient, and it is coming. Our vision, untainted by illusion, saw what their veiled eyes never could, that you were not the victim, but the divine conduit of reversal. Their attacks didn't weaken you, they supercharged your evolution. Each curse hurled your way ricocheted with amplified force, returning to sender wrapped in the consequences of their own intent. What they meant to destroy you only expanded your power, refining your discernment, sharpening your intuition, and fortifying your soul. With every spiteful spell, you rose higher, clothed in resilience, forged in sacred fire. They thought they were draining you, but they were feeding the engine of your ascension. The darkness knows its reign is ending. That's why it threw everything at you in a last desperate frenzy. But your pain was never without purpose. It was sacred preparation, molding you into a vessel unbreakable, forged in the furnace of divine intention. What felt like isolation was initiation. What felt like delay was orchestration. And now the atmosphere is shifting, the veil thinning, as your breakthrough thunders toward reality. Your triumph isn't just personal, it's prophetic. It marks the rising of a new era, where the hidden ones stand revealed, and your victory becomes the signal fire, igniting the awakening of a powerful, ancient tribe, ready to reclaim the earth. The instant they dared to weaponize energy against you, the universe triggered a divine chain reaction, swift, exact, and inescapable. The law of return didn't just echo their actions, it multiplied them, turning every malicious spell and hidden hex into a mirror lined with fire. What they cast out in secret has become a roaring storm in their own lives, unraveling their stability, poisoning their alliances, and haunting their dreams. Their darkness, once aimed outward, now festers inward, devouring their peace, their clarity, their very sense of self. They called down destruction, never realizing they were summoning their own undoing. The web of control they spun around your destiny has turned into a noose tightening around their own necks. The dark vows murmured beneath shadowed skies have morphed into the script of their downfall, written in the language of cosmic justice. Now, witness the unraveling, years of trust dissolving like mist, alliances shattering in silence, and fortunes slipping through their grasp despite frantic attempts to reclaim them. Their world, once meticulously crafted, is fracturing with a fury they never foresaw, a testament to the truth that the energy we cast into the universe always finds its way home. Their dark intentions have woven a reflection of suffering back into their own lives. Aches that mimic the pain they sought to impose on you, devices glitching when they need them most, restless nights haunted by shadows birthed from their own malice. The cosmos has become your shield, governed by an unfailing sacred calculus that measures every hostile act with exacting justice. Each ounce of negativity aimed at you is not lost, but carefully tallied, multiplied, and sent back with compounded force, an unstoppable debt they cannot escape, accumulating into a reckoning far beyond their darkest fears. The delicious irony is that they remain blind to the true source of their downfall, convinced it's your spells unraveling their lives. Their limited minds can't fathom that true divine power flows through realms beyond their cheap tricks and half-baked rituals. They mistake cosmic justice for magic, failing to see that when you stand as a vessel of higher authority, the battle transcends the personal. It becomes a clash of ancient, unstoppable forces. You don't just confront an opponent, you challenge the very powers that ordained your rise, turning their confusion into the soundtrack of their defeat. The cosmic forces that chose you are fierce guardians who protect their chosen with unwavering ferocity. The main architect of your torment, the one who orchestrated shadows from behind the curtain, is now unraveling before all eyes. The facade they so meticulously crafted, the polished mask hiding their deceit and cruelty, is cracking, shards falling away as the relentless tide of karma washes over them. Their true nature, long buried beneath layers of lies and manipulation, is being revealed in blinding clarity, a testament to the inevitable reckoning reserved for those who dare obstruct divine will. Their dark craft was not born in isolation, but forged in the fires of ancestral shadows, handed down through bloodlines steeped in deception. From childhood they were taught that true power lay in domination, that bending wills through invisible strings was the highest form of mastery. In their homes, sacred bonds were corrupted, replaced by cold, calculated tactics designed to prey on the vulnerable and blind. What should have been a path to enlightenment twisted into a legacy of control, a poisonous inheritance disguised as spiritual tradition. Generational curses are relentless cycles that bind as tightly as blood itself. The very teachings that shape their mastery over manipulation have become the chains that drag them down, forcing every ounce of their dark energy to recoil with devastating force. What once took generations to build is now unraveling in swift, unforgiving waves, karma compressed into a merciless storm that shakes their core. We watch as the illusion fractures, and those who once placed faith in their lies awaken to the truth, tearing down the walls of deceit they so carefully erected. Their empire of shadows is crumbling, exposed for all to see. Their carefully curated alliances are unraveling like fragile threads pulled taut beyond breaking. Business partners, once blinded by surface charm, now recoil as the mask slips, revealing the cold calculation beneath. Romantic bonds, once believed to be heartfelt, dissolve as the truth emerges. Emotions were never sincere, just rehearsed acts designed to manipulate. Even friendships, those sacred spaces meant for trust and mutual support, vanish like mist when exposed. People waking up to realize they were nothing more than fuel, drained dry by a master of exploitation. The walls built on deception are crashing down, leaving them isolated in the ruins of their own making. Chosen ones, before we move on, we would like you to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if you believe in spreading light, empowerment, and positive change. By subscribing, you're not just joining a channel. You're becoming part of a growing community driven to inspire, uplift, and transform. Each subscription fuels this mission, bringing more empowering content directly to you and helping us reach others who need this light. Together, we're building a wave of transformation, and your support is the spark that keeps it alive. So take a moment, hit subscribe, and let's continue this journey of growth and empowerment together. The empire of lies they've constructed is crumbling, collapsing inward with the precision and devastation of a master-planned demolition. Every connection forged through deceit shatters at once, and every victory stolen through manipulation is being meticulously dismantled piece by piece. Yet, in their confusion and denial, they cling to the illusion that you are the architect of their ruin. They fail to grasp the undeniable truth. Their downfall is the inevitable backlash of cosmic justice, a direct consequence of defying the sacred laws by targeting one under divine guardianship. Those who once prowled with ruthless certainty through their webs of control now tremble, overwhelmed by the undeniable force of your spiritual sovereignty. They lash out with venomous rumors, twisting your name into a dark legend in their circles, desperate to explain the unexplainable by casting you as a sinister force. Their fear breeds wild stories, tales spun to mask their own helplessness before the raw, undeniable power you embody. In frantic desperation, they gather with their mentors and bloodline keepers, escalating their rituals to grim extremes, offering greater sacrifices, burning rarer herbs, clinging to the illusion that more darkness will shield them from the inevitable reckoning. But no amount of shadow can withstand the light born of true divine authority. Their terror has twisted them into caricatures of themselves, actions so frantic and absurd they'd be laughable, if not so pitiful. They dodge places where your presence might cast a shadow over their fragile schemes, altering every step and pattern to avoid even the faintest chance of crossing your path. Clutching talismans like lifelines, they scramble through frantic rites and desperate prayers, as if these scraps of superstition could shield them from a power far greater than their feeble fears can grasp. In truth, they know deep down they are prey, hunted by a force that moves with the precision of destiny itself. The most striking truth in their panic is how it strips away every pretense, laying bare the raw core of who they really are to those paying attention. Their carefully crafted mask of power crumbles, replaced by the desperate, haunted expression of souls who realize they've unleashed a force far beyond their grasp. In their fear, they lash out, casting their shadows onto you, because facing the emptiness within themselves would tear apart the fragile remnants of their shattered identity. Their projection is a final act of survival, but it only reveals the depth of their own spiritual decay.